What's going on, guys? Cosmic Collector here, and in today's video we'll be unboxing the Universal Monsters Ultimate Mummy. This is the NECA Toys Ultimate Mummy black and white figure. I recently reviewed the Ultimate Frankenstein figure, so if you haven't seen that video yet, check it out after this one. The cover on the box is based off this movie poster. NECA Toys uses the primary movie poster for the colored version of the figure, and then they use a secondary poster for the Ultimate or black and white versions, which is a really cool touch and helps differentiate the two lines. I picked this figure up for $26 and some change at Big Bad Toy Store. It wasn't as good of a deal as the Frankenstein I picked up, but it's still a pretty good price. It's actually in stock and back on sale at the time of recording this video if you wanted to pick up the same one. Popping up on the screen now are some of the figures I have in hand and will be reviewing here on the channel. So if there's a certain review that you'd like to see first, just let me know down in the comments and I'll make that video next. And if you're not already, go and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of those videos. Here's a quick look at the bottom of the box, and a huge shout out to all the artists that brought this figure to life. Here's a look at the top, we get another shot of that logo. On the inside of the box, we get a windowed view of the figure and accessories. And on the inner flap, we get a nice pose shot of the figure. Now, let's go and get this opened up and take a closer look. Alright, now that we've got everything unboxed, let's take a quick look at the articulation. Here's the figure straight out of the box. As I mentioned in my other reviews, I'm not great at showcasing the articulation, but we'll give it a shot. So the legs open up to about right here. And we also have some thigh swivel. The knees on these figures are pretty stiff, but we can get a nice bend in there. His leg goes forward pretty far. And then we have decent foot movement. As well as ankle rotation. The arms go up to about right here, so not quite a T-pose. This statue does come with double jointed elbows, which is a nice upgrade. And we also get a bicep swivel. We get fully articulated wrists. And then we have some swivel at the top and bottom of the torso. And that allows us to get a pretty good crunch. He bends pretty far forward. But he can't really bend backwards too much. We get pretty good rotation in his neck and head. He can look all around. and it looks like there's a separate joint in the bottom of his neck for better posability. Alright, now that we've got the articulation out of the way, let's go and jump into the review and take a closer look.
The Mummy. Is it dead or alive? Human or inhuman?
Overall, this is an incredible mummy figure. The paint and sculpt is great, and they nailed the design of his face and the wraps around his body. Boris Karloff played Frankenstein and the Mummy. They did a great job making him look unrecognizable for both roles. I didn't realize until I rewatched the film before this review, but the mummy only appears in the opening scene, and then he's in his human form for the rest of the film. The Mummy was probably my least favorite of the Legacy films, but his design is iconic and I wanted to complete the black and white set, so I went ahead and picked it up. The sculpt and design of his wraps are really well done, and they did a great job making it look like actual layers wrapped around his body. And here's some close-ups of those details. While we do get better articulation with this figure, the accessories are seriously lacking. Starting off, this figure only came with 3 additional hands, so we don't even get 3 full sets like with Frankenstein and Dracula. Let's go and take a look at those now. First, we have a pair of open hands where his fingers are straight. These are really well sculpted, and we can see they included the ring on his right hand. Next, we have a pair of open hands where the fingers are more spread out. And here's a look at the inside of those. Those are really well done. And the final hand we get is a reaching or pointing pose. This one can only be used on his right hand, but it does look great from the side. The largest accessory we get is a chest or box. And unless you have a full diorama set up, there's really not a good way to display this. So I feel like it's kind of a waste. The final accessories we get are 2 wraps or bandages. These are actually really nice and probably my favorite accessory. They're made of rubber, so they're very flexible but also retain their shape. You can drape these around the figure in a ton of different ways. You can put them around his neck, his arms, wrists, feet, legs, and any number of combinations. This is a really cool way to add movement into your poses and really bring the figure to life. And here's a few examples of how you can pose those. Next, let's look at his face sculpts. We have a standard neutral face. They perfectly captured Boris Karloff's features and expression. NECA does a great job capturing the likeness of these characters, and the mummy looks great. Next, we have an open mouth head sculpt. This one's probably my least favorite out of the 3, but it's still really well done, and they did a great job capturing his jaw and mouth. Lastly, we have a closed eyes head sculpt. This one's really cool, especially if you pose him like he's still asleep. Like the other figures in this line, they include a cardboard background, and this one's of his sarcophagus. I know they sold an accessory set separately, but I'm not paying $40 just to have him stand inside of the sarcophagus. So this is a free and easy way to have him displayed in front of it. Overall, this is another great figure in the Ultimate line. I'm really glad I was able to find it on sale, and it'll look great displayed next to my other black and white Universal Monster figures. Alright, and now for the size of the figure. He stands around 7 inches, or 18 centimeters. For size comparison, here it is next to a Funko Pop. And here it is next to a Funko Out of Box. Here it is next to the Ultimate Count Dracula. As well as the Ultimate Frankenstein. Here it is next to the Marvel Legends Scarlet Spider. As well as the McFarlane Toys Ghost Spider. And lastly, here it is next to the Vibration Stars 2 Kadapika. Alright guys, that's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed, please leave a like. And let me know down in the comments, out of the legacy films, which one was your least favorite? And since you're still here, go and check out one of the 2 videos popping up on the screen now. The one on the left is a video that YouTube's recommending just for you. And the one on the right is a video that I recommended. And until next time, God bless.